Hi, this is Kenshin1913, and happy Memorial Day. And if it isn't Memorial Day, whatever. Anyways, this is Pete here, and today I'm going to be having another cooking with Kenshin1913. In this episode, we're going to show how to cook Rice Krispy Treats. Yum. Anyways, couple ingredients we're going to be needing for today is a box of Rice Krispies. We need 1 stick of margarine or butter, depending on which one you want to use and which one you have in the house. We need one package of jet puffed mini marshmallows. You can use the big ones, but I don't really know the ratio from big marshmallows to little marshmallows actually. So I usually use the tiny ones. Also, I like to use the jet puff because they are the best. You can use any kind of Rice Krispies you want, store brand or regular. It doesn't really matter. And then basically some other utensils you're going to need. You're going to need a measuring cup. You're going to need obviously a pan so that we can get the marshmallows melted. You're going to need a 13 by 9 tray. And if you don't have one of those, you could use, I don't have one on hand, but you could use a aluminum pan if you want one of them foil pans you can just wrap up. Need a spatula and a spoon so you can mix the marshmallows. So I'm gonna have a helper today. Let's get started on making Krispy Treats.
Hello, I'm helping Kenshin1913 make Rice Krispy Treats
Yes,
today.
this is my mom.
This has been a tradition for us on all of the especially summer holidays. And everyone who comes in absolutely loves them and asks if we have them on that day. So one of the things that we do first is to prep our pan. And we're going to take half a stick of the butter, because that's really all you're going to need, or the margarine. I prefer to use margarine. Not sure why, but it just seems that it comes out better. So what you're going to do is to take that half a stick and just rub your pan. Yeah,
you want to kind of grease it with the margarine. And just get it kind of in the corners is probably best. And also just on the bottom is very good, and on the sides.
Okay, so that's as simple as that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take the half a stick of margarine, put it into your pan on the stove, and turn on your oven to your stove top.
Yeah.
We have gas, so it heats up much quicker. Some people who have electric, it'll heat up a little slower, but you have to watch it because you do not want your margarine to burn.
No, you don't want the margarine to burn. What I like to do is I like to keep it on a lower heat to melt the margarine a little slower. It takes a little longer, but the marshmallows will melt even more evenly than if you had it on a higher heat. So the next thing we want to do is just make sure to stir that margarine around so that we can get it all around the pan. And this is going to be the thing we need to melt the marshmallows. And it shouldn't take too long to melt the butter actually, or the margarine, depending on what you're using. I like to use margarine. So you just gotta kind of let it melt, and it smells pretty damn good already. So next thing we need to do is open the bag of marshmallows to get prepared for when we throw it in the jet puffed, of course.
We have tried store-bought marshmallows. The treats come out okay, but for some reason a fresh bag of the jet puffs makes the Krispy Treats the best.
So after all the margarine is melted, that's when we throw in the marshmallows. Now from here, you have to kind of constantly stir until the marshmallows start melting, obviously. And then you might want to raise the heat on this, but yeah, we're just gonna
to a medium heat, not a high.
Yeah, you just want to keep stirring until they start to melt. Hopefully you guys can see this pretty good. But yeah, this process takes about like four minutes or so.
And as you can see, the butter is all incorporated into the marshmallows.
Yes.
And the marshmallows start to get a little gooey. And the fresh ones will actually melt much quicker. and it becomes, if anyone's ever had fluff in the jar, almost that kind of consistency, where it's very creamy and shiny. And it starts to melt down pretty quick.
As you can see right here.
And mixing all the time, this is one of the things, you can't walk away from it, because if you start to burn your marshmallow, if you see that your pan seems to be a little bit too hot and the bottom starts to get brown, just lower your heat a little bit, and that will allow the marshmallows to get warm a little less quickly, which is okay. You just may need to stir a little bit extra.
Yeah, so don't worry if it's becoming one kind of big blop like that. That's all right. That, as long as you have like 95% of all the marshmallows melted, you'll be pretty set.
And as you can see, it only has taken really a couple of minutes of quick stirring, and everything is getting nice and soft and all melded together, and all of the marshmallows are gone, and it's making this big nice marshmallow fluff.
Yes.
The next thing you're going to do is then you can actually close your heat if you have a couple of little marshmallows left, because
that's all right.
It's hot enough and it will melt them. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this off of the stove, and you want to put it on a surface that you can work with, so it'll stay nice and flat, because this marshmallow is very hot, and you got to be careful as you add your Rice Krispies in, and you want a surface that won't jiggle around on you. Okay, so we're using Rice Krispy Treats, a traditional kind by Kellogg's. I don't know if that's kosher to say or not.
Yeah, whatever.
But I have used store brand names, and the Rice Krispies end of it comes just as good. Some people like to do a variation, and you could add Cocoa Krispies,
Fruity Pebbles. My friend Rob likes to use Lucky Charms. You could use that.
You can really experiment if you want to, but in our house, the tradition is Rice Krispy Treats, plain and simple.
Yeah, so what we need to do next is we need 6 cups. Well, actually, we took as you can see, we took the marshmallows off the heat here. And now we need to add 6 cups of Rice Krispies, or whichever cereal you'd like to use. Like we said, you could use Cocoa Krispies or Cocoa Pebbles or whatever they're called. And you can use Fruity Pebbles. Lucky Charms is also another really good one. Anyway, so after that, we have 6 cups of Rice Krispies in there. And this is a great thing to use for any well, we usually use it for barbecues. This is like if you want to bring the dessert, this is pretty easy. So yeah, now all you have to do is stir the marshmallows into the Rice Krispies.
So you want to incorporate it all, and you want to make sure that you do have a pan that's going to be able to hold
6
6 cups, so that when you're mixing it, you're going to be able to evenly coat. That's one of the tricks. You got to try to evenly coat all of your Rice Krispies with the marshmallow. And so that takes a little bit of time, and I always have Peter as my helper. I'm helping him out today with the mixing, but normally he's my mixer.
Yeah, so Ma, how long have we been making these Rice Krispy Treats for?
Oh, years.
Years and years, and ever since I've been able to help you out, I've been your assistant when we start making these bad boys. These are just some really delicious treats for like I said, picnics. You can use them or whatever.
And as you can see, most of this is incorporated in. This actually looked like, we said 6 cups. Sometimes you can add a little bit more depending on, like, maybe just another little bit, another half a cup or a cup of the Rice Krispies into the marshmallow mixture, because sometimes for one reason or another, it especially with the jet marshmallows,
jet puff, yes.
Yep, they do a great job as far as being coated with everything. And as you can see now, you got that little bit of stringiness, because this is starting to cool down just a little bit, and you want to get it into your pan as soon as possible.
I'm trying to show the stringiness. Damn thing won't zoom in. Alright, there we go.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this into our pre-greased buttered pan.
13 by 9.
You can use a smaller pan and make 2 of them, like 2 9 by 9 pans. Or as Pete mentioned before, sometimes when you're traveling with this, if you want to put it into a disposable tin pan to bring it with you, that's a good size as well.
Yeah. So next we're going to where would you like to do this? Next we're going to take the marshmallows, because it's still kind of hot. You want to be careful, and we're just going to put them.
You're kind of going to dump the whole bunch kind of in the middle.
Yes.
And scraping as you go.
Yep. And you want to make sure to get all of them in there. Now, usually this is my part where I'm scraping them in for my mom, and then she's taking, basically, what she's going to do is take that plastic spatula that we have here, right here, and we're going to just flatten everything down. Take it off the spoon and just flatten it. And
one of the things that the helpers always like is to be able to have a little bit of the Krispy Treats right at the end as they're scraping, and that last little bit of scrape, they get the treat for themselves.
Yeah, as a kid I always used to like to, if anything, the rule was if anything, when I was scraping the Krispy Treats out, if any of it got stuck on my fingers, it was fair game for me to eat.
And as you can see, you just start patting this down a little bit.
Yeah, making sure
you're bringing it all into an even. And as the marshmallows start to cool down, it's much easier to work. And as you can see, you can kind of flatten it out so you get a nice flat top and it's not all bumpy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to grab a little bit more. As you can see, there's a little left here in the pan. It gets a little hard to get it out as the marshmallow starts to harden.
Yeah, that's why you want to make sure to do this as quick as you can.
You want to get every last good bit.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you use a smaller pan, you're going to get thicker Krispy Treats. Sometimes you can even use a little larger pan, you'll get thinner Krispy Treats. And one of the things that you're going to do is then just flatten all this out, get all the goodness out of the pan that you can.
And then just put it in here and basically just flatten it out and make sure that everything's cool.
So as we do that, we're just trying to get it evened out, and then very simply use your spatula to just even things around.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no after prep time. You just need to set it out on a table or a counter. Just let it cool down. I usually like to let it cool down about an hour, a little bit more by the time we start to have our picnic. And
another variation that you could do, now that I think about it, is if you wanted to, you could put chocolate chips on top or something. Or chocolate chips in the mix as well. Make it a little more chocolatey.
So as you can see, we flattened it all out. We're just going to set this down now to cool down. And it'll be ready for our dessert.
Yeah.
And then we just take a knife and kind of just cut along the sides. People come and
make it as big as you'd like,
as they want, or as small as they want. And cleanup time. Actually, you may look at this pan and say, "Oh my God, how am I going to get it clean?" All you need is some hot water, a little dish detergent in it. Let it set just for a couple of minutes, and all of the marshmallow starts to melt and soften up, and it's quite easy to clean.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Here we have our Rice Krispy Treats. I hope you had fun with us.
Yes.
With this quick little cooking tips. And enjoy your Rice Krispy Treats.
Ma,
let us know how you like them.
Yeah, let us know how you like them. Ma, thanks for helping me out today.
Anytime, Pete.
This has been Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Enjoy.